Throughout history, inventions like the light bulb and the internet have revolutionized our daily lives. However, behind these celebrated breakthroughs lie hidden gems, groundbreaking technologies that never had the chance to shine. Silenced by corporate greed, buried under government secrecy, and dismissed by the skepticism of mainstream science, these innovations were pushed into the dark, never to realize their full potential. Join us as we unveil 10 suppressed inventions that could have radically transformed the world we live in. Number 10. The Ogle carburetor. Tom Ogle, a self-taught mechanic from El Paso, Texas, made headlines in the 1970s with an invention that seemed almost too good to be true. His creation, the Ogle carburetor, promised to drastically improve fuel efficiency during a time when the oil crisis had the world desperately searching for solutions. This innovative device claimed to power a car for over 100 miles on just a single gallon of gasoline, a claim that turned heads and raised hopes. Ogle's approach to the conventional carburetor was nothing short of revolutionary. Unlike traditional systems that mixed air and fuel before combustion, Ogle's design eliminated the carburetor and fuel pump altogether. Instead, he introduced a black box that vaporized the fuel before it entered the engine. This method meant that the fuel burned more completely, significantly reducing the amount of gasoline needed to run the engine. The implications of Ogle's invention were staggering. Not only could this mean huge savings for consumers tired of high gas prices, but it also suggested a potential decrease in oil dependence and a step forward in reducing vehicle emissions. In 1977, Ogle showcased his modified 1970 Ford Galaxy, which demonstrated this remarkable fuel efficiency. The media frenzy that followed catapulted him into the spotlight. He secured patents and attracted interest from investors and big corporations, all keen on the potential transformation in fuel consumption his invention could bring. Despite the growing interest, the automotive world was skeptical. Experts questioned how Ogle's carburetor could achieve such efficiency without significant engine modifications. Yet, Ogle was undeterred. He believed in his invention's potential and turned down lucrative offers. All schematic details crucial for understanding his work were removed. This mysterious alteration raises numerous questions about the motives behind the decisions to modify his publication. Was Grabenikov's work seen as too disruptive or dangerous for public dissemination? According to a longtime colleague, Grabenikov might have been part of a so-called scientific underground, which faced not just skepticism, but active opposition from mainstream scientific institutions and perhaps governmental bodies. Number 8. Water fuel cell. Here is another tale exploring the reality of forbidden technologies and the silencing of their inventors. Stanley Meyer, an inventive mind from Ohio, reshaped the conversation around alternative energy in the 1980s with his groundbreaking water fuel cell. This wasn't just any ordinary electrolysis device. Meyer claimed his invention could efficiently split water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen using minimal electrical input and resonant frequencies, a technique unheard of at the time. Meyer showcased his technology in a dune buggy he claimed ran solely on water, using the gases generated by his cell for combustion. Imagine a vehicle cruising down the road, its tank filled with nothing but water, whether it be rain, well, ocean, or even snow melt. This vision not only captured the public's imagination, but also promised an abundant, sustainable, and eco-friendly fuel alternative to oil. The buzz around Meyer's water fuel cell was immense. He was featured in local demonstrate a working model that replicates the results Meyer claimed, fueling further speculation and mystery around the feasibility of his invention. Number 7. The radiant energy device. In the 1930s, amidst a backdrop of burgeoning modern physics and unprecedented scientific inquiry, T. Henry Moray emerged with a proposition that seemed ripped from the pages of a futuristic novel. He introduced the world to his radiant energy device, a groundbreaking invention that he claimed could tap into the boundless forces of the cosmos. According to Moray, this device was capable of harnessing an unseen, inexhaustible source of power that could potentially transform the energy landscape forever. Moray, an electrical engineer and physicist hailing from Salt Lake City, Utah, drew heavily on the pioneering theories of Nikola Tesla and other luminary scientists who had ventured into the realms of electromagnetism and radioactivity. From these intellectual explorations, Moray distilled a vision. The space around us, he theorized, brims with a type of energy that, if harnessed, could offer an endless supply of power. This device, which aimed to convert this cosmic energy into usable electrical power, had been in development since the early 1920s. The core of his invention featured a special valve, a semiconductive material designed to absorb radiant energy from the surroundings and transform it into high-voltage electricity. Moray's approach didn't claim to overthrow the laws of thermodynamics. Rather, it was a process of conversion, transforming existing energy from one form to another. Moray's demonstrations of his device were nothing short of spectacular. In various exhibitions, he successfully powered lights, radios, and motors before an audience of witnesses, all without any visible connection to a conventional power source. deliberate damage to his equipment. Despite these challenges, Moray remained resolute, continually refining his device and championing its potential benefits. Nevertheless, without the necessary support to advance his work, his invention gradually receded from the spotlight, overshadowed by the very skepticism and hostility that plagued it from the start. After Moray's death, his radiant energy device slipped into the shadows, largely forgotten, except by a few who remembered it as a peculiar yet fascinating chapter in the history of alternative energy research. Number 6. Energy Machine. In the vibrant tapestry of alternative energy stories, few threads are as captivating and tangled as the saga of Joseph Newman and his energy machine. This device, claimed by Newman to produce more energy than it consumed, marked a controversial chapter in the quest for over-unity devices, machines that could, supposedly, defy traditional laws of physics by generating more power than they take in. Joseph Newman, an inventor with a colorful career that began in Mobile, Alabama, introduced his groundbreaking invention in 1979. He claimed his machine harnessed a principle akin to Einstein's E=mc², suggesting that all matter contains locked-in energy, accessible through his technology. This bold assertion drew both intrigue and skepticism, leading Newman into a prolonged battle with the U.S. Patent Office, which refused to patent the device, dismissing it as a perpetual motion machine. Despite this setback, Newman garnered the support of over 30 scientists, including notable figures from NASA and those who had worked on pivotal projects like the Saturn V rocket. Their affidavits, intended to sway the patent authorities, highlighted potential implications of Newman's presentation on the Newman motor by Geoffrey Miller, a longtime collaborator and free energy enthusiast. Miller's demonstration aimed to vindicate Newman's claims and inspire a new generation to explore the boundaries of energy technology. Before we move on, here's today's subscriber's pick. In this image, we delve into a hidden chapter of forbidden technologies and the silencing of their inventors. Here, we see a trio of such forbidden advancements. One end, we witness an inventor proudly displaying a device that he has engineered to levitate, a feat that could upend our understanding of physics. Yet, such innovations often vanish, kept from public reach under the guise of safety or scoffed at by mainstream science. On another end, a hovering vehicle defies gravity, hinting at suppressed anti-gravity or aerospace technologies that could have revolutionized transport. Finally, we can see a large, intricate machine, reminiscent of Nikola Tesla's experiments, suggests advancements in harnessing and distributing energy, innovations that might have threatened existing power structures. These images represent the relentless pursuit of knowledge and the barriers erected by forces, economic interests, and regulatory bodies. Each device tells a story of potential and restraint, innovations that could have reshaped our world had they not been pushed into the shadows. What do you think these inventors might have achieved if their technologies had been allowed to flourish? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Number 5. The original electric car. In the late 1990s, General Motors introduced the EV1, marking the debut of the world's first mass-produced electric car. This vehicle emerged during a time when society was becoming increasingly aware of air pollution, oil dependency, and the broader environmental press this emerging technology. The response from General Motors was severe and unprecedented. The company didn't just stop making the EV1, they decided to erase any trace of its existence. In a controversial move, GM launched a campaign to retrieve and destroy every last EV1. This wasn't just a recall, it was a deliberate effort to prevent these vehicles from becoming symbols of a technological revolution. Instead of allowing them to remain with their users or preserving them as historical artifacts, GM crushed them, effectively wiping out a significant chapter in automotive history. This extreme measure has been widely interpreted as an attempt to stifle the advancement of electric vehicle technology and protect the traditional automotive market dominated by internal combustion engines. The saga of the EV1's rise and fall has been captured in various documentaries and discussions, most notably in the 2006 film, Who Killed the Electric Car? This film explores the intricate web of corporate and commercial interests that orchestrated the demise of this pioneering electric vehicle. Number 4. The Hendershot Generator. In the late 1920s, an American inventor named Lester Hendershot made a startling claim. He had developed a device capable of generating free energy. Dubbed the Hendershot Generator, this invention was said to utilize the Earth's magnetic field to produce electricity without any need for conventional fuel sources. This groundbreaking device was described as a self-running generator, employing an intricate array of coils and capacitors to produce energy independently. Hendershot's initial demonstrations were spectacular, reportedly powering light bulbs and motors and igniting the imaginations of the public. The media and potential investors quickly took notice, drawn by the promise of a revolution in how energy could son discovered his father dead, an event officially recorded as a suicide. However, the lack of a thorough investigation into his death led many, including his family, to suspect foul play. They theorized that Hendershot's work posed a considerable threat to the financial interests of large energy corporations. Allegedly, Hendershot had even been warned by a major corporation to cease all work on his generator, under threat of dire consequences. He reportedly received $25,000 to halt his research for 2 decades, a deal that underscored the lengths to which these corporations would go to protect their interests. Hendershot had shared his concerns about personal safety with his family, highlighting just how serious the threats against him were. His mysterious death and the stifling of his groundbreaking work continue to stir intense curiosity and debate. Number 3. Tucker Automobile. Step into the whirlwind of innovation and controversy surrounding Preston Tucker and his legendary Tucker 48, a vehicle that could have revolutionized the automotive industry. Born from a dream to break the mold, Tucker's car was more than a mere automobile. It was a bold leap into the future of driving. Preston Tucker, a man whose life was as dynamic as the car he envisioned, launched his automotive venture in the post-World War II era, a time ripe for innovation. The Tucker 48, unveiled in 1946, promised an array of revolutionary features. With its rear engine, disc brakes, and safety enhancements like a pop-out windshield, it was designed not just to perform, but to protect. Its most distinctive feature, the centered third headlight known as the Cyclops Eye, turned with the steering wheel to illuminate the car's path around corners. The unveiling of the Tucker 48 generated immense Unlike many, Schauberger became a forester and naturalist not to exploit nature, but to understand and replicate its processes. His deep dives into nature's secrets led him close to the mythical idea of perpetual motion, machines that could run forever without external energy. Schauberger believed that the Earth itself is a powerhouse waiting to be tapped into. He often criticized modern engineering for ignoring nature's subtle yet powerful patterns. His philosophy was clear and revolutionary. Understand nature, then copy nature. He observed that water naturally spirals in rivers and streams, a motion he found vital for maintaining its energy. By replicating this spiral flow, he invented devices that could produce energy in ways completely different from conventional technologies. One of his most fascinating inventions was the repulsine, a saucer-shaped device designed to create energy through a vortex of air or water. This device, with its unique wave-like patterns, sparked wide interest and debates about whether Schauberger had unlocked the secrets to perpetual motion and free energy. However, Schauberger's innovations caught the eye of some rather sinister forces during World War II. He faced pressure from the Nazi regime to adapt his inventions for military use, leaving him disillusioned and worried about the potential misuse of his work. Despite continuing his research after the war, he never achieved the recognition or commercial success he deserved. Things took a darker turn post-war when Schauberger was detained by US intelligence agents for 9 months. During this time, all his research and prototypes were seized, and he was interrogated about his inventions and activities during the war. This led to widespread speculation that his work, capable of harnessing natural energy and consumed, tapping directly into the environmental energy around us. The genesis of De Palma's invention was rooted in a concept that might sound straight out of science fiction, that the space around us is not empty, but filled with untapped energy. His N machine was designed as a unique kind of generator, fundamentally different from traditional models. Instead of using separate components like a rotor and a stator, the N machine utilized a single rotating magnetized flywheel, simplifying the energy conversion process. De Palma believed that by magnetizing a gyroscope and rotating it, an electrical potential could be created between the axle and the rim, effectively harvesting electrical energy directly from the magnet's field. This bold innovation drew from the ideas of Michael Faraday and other pioneering scientists, but pushed far beyond into new theoretical territories. De Palma suggested that conventional physics, including the laws of thermodynamics and conservation of energy, might not account for all natural phenomena, especially at the quantum and cosmic scales. His theory proposed that a molecular antenna could extract energy from the background of space, a concept that mirrored some interpretations of quantum physics regarding the energy density of the vacuum. Critics were quick to label the N machine a perpetual motion device, a term laden with skepticism and scientific taboo. The mainstream scientific community, bound by classical laws of physics, largely dismissed De Palma's claims as impossible. However, De Palma's work was not without empirical efforts. Throughout the 1980s, he conducted various demonstrations and tests to prove the efficacy of his machine. Reports were mixed, with some independent observers noting anomalies in energy output that couldn't be easily dismissed. The controversy around the N machine peaked when rigorous tests See you in the next video.